Today, we expect tabletop role-playing games to be engines for deeply collaborative, character-centric storytelling, but that expectation is a relatively recent development. In the early 1980s, the hobby was still heavily defined by its tactical wargaming roots. If you played a tournament module at a convention, you are entering a logic puzzle where stakes were binary. Famous dungeons focused on mechanical mastery. A single wrong choice didn't lead to a new story branch, it led to instant character death. In this environment, players prioritized mechanical efficiency over authorship. They operated statistical blocks to earn convention points, treating their characters as disposable assets in a race for the high score. By 1983, TSR was experiencing massive corporate growth. Dungeons & Dragons broke out of niche hobby shops, pushing into mainstream toy aisles and multimedia. This sudden expansion created a serious friction point. A grilling fan base wanted continuity and recurring characters, but the company still required rigidly scoreable, standardized modules to run its massive tournament network. To resolve these demands, a designer named Frank Mentzer, seen here, authored a rare experimental module called R4, Doc's Island. It bridged two eras. Mentzer moved away from anonymous statistical blocks by providing highly detailed pre-generated characters. Athelstan the Paladin arrived with intrinsic emotional motivations, such as a personal quest to reclaim a specific legendary blade. The module also introduced sophisticated geopolitical stakes. Instead of an overt monster invasion, the antagonist utilized systemic deception, destabilizing frontier societies through sanctioned slavery and magical illusions. Embedding players into a reacting world changed the primary challenge of the session. Navigating the moral and political consequences of this deception became as vital as tracking hit points. Despite its focus on setting, Doc's Island was still a Gen Con tournament event. Players were bound by severe mechanical restrictions, including strict in-game time limits to traverse the map and explore the dungeon levels. Mentzer tried to merge his narrative themes with convention floor pressure through enemies known as slinks, undead zombies cloaked in permanent illusions to appear as normal human servants. As this chart shows, the slinks weaponized the game's own rules. Players had to burn precious actions during combat just to verify the reality of their targets, draining their limited resources while an actual clock ticked behind the table. However, the story-scoring marriage hit a wall with the holy sword Chrysomer. Its personality strength of 55 overwhelmed almost any character's willpower. If the sword dominated its wielder, it effectively took control of the host body, forcing the player to undertake specific quests and follow its rigid alignment against their own will. While a sentient sword makes for a great story hook, stripping a player of their autonomy in a scored competitive tournament undermines the integrity of the game. The R Series' emphasis on geopolitical continuity and character backstory served as a trial run for a new kind of adventure. Within a few years, the techniques Mentzer used to ground characters in a specific world became the primary framework for lore-heavy series like Dragonlance. In 1987, TSR decided to capitalize on this growing demand for epic narratives. They commissioned developer Janelle Jacquez to repackage the rare R-Series modules into a mass-market supermodule titled I-12 Egg of the Phoenix. To stitch these discrete scenarios together, the 1987 revision implemented a massive retcon. The character of Doc, originally a quirky ally, was inverted into a high-level primary villain named Redoc. To deliver this new twist, the revision used forced cinematic cutscenes. These sequences revealed the betrayal regardless of what the players did, prioritizing a scripted narrative outcome over player agency. There is a certain irony in the fate of Doc's Island. It was overwritten and erased by the same story-first revolution it helped initiate. But the original 1983 booklet remains a vital artifact. It represents the exact moment when a game of numbers and logistics realized it could become a medium for storytelling.